Okay. So let's come up to standing and do some moving. Okay, and I'm just going to move this out of the way, and we'll start with just some shaking to get the body going. Welcome to yoga practice. So nice to get all the tension and tightness out of the body. Evening classes are good. I think they help us sleep better. Morning classes are good because they set the tone for the whole day. So whether you're here morning or evening, it's good. So do a little shake, just a little shake, 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 shake. Good, and there we go. Inhale the arms out and up. Reach up, exhale with the ha breath, and tuck the chin under, and then inhale, arch the spine, look up. Chin tucks. As the hands come up, you can move right into a back bend and look up, lengthen through the front of the body. Big exhalation through the mouth, down. One more time. Good. And just a little bit with the shoulders. So notice, how does your body feel tonight? Turn your head side to side. You want to notice the shoulders and the neck, the smaller joints, the larger joints, hips and knees. Good way to notice how the hips are. Let's just go right into a squat just to see. It's very telling when you drop into a squat. Okay, there's the hips. Yes, there's the knees. Okay, now we know. Nice deep breath in. Good. And then come all the way back up. So it's so beautiful. I'm going to open up my window because I have way too much heat right now. Okay, there we go. Let's do some twisting and tapping. There are 5 standing pranayams there to get the energy flowing in the body. Notice your balance as you do a little peek over one shoulder and then the other, and we're moving with the ha breath. Slow it down and breathe. Good. And then we'll move into breath of joy. Breath of joy, we bend the knees. Give yourself a little tap on the shoulders. Inhale. Inhale, 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 inhale. 4 short, shallow breaths on the way up. Ha breath on the way down. One more. And release. Good. So let's do a little check before we do our pure ha breath. Come up into the tips of the toes, just the right foot, and circle. And notice. And then circle the other way. Just a nice little warm up for the ankle, massage on the toes, and a good check-in for your balance too. Switch sides. Good, and circle the other way. Want to really become tuned into our body. So we'll keep going with this churning before we go back into our pranayama. Hands on the knees And circle the knees. Just a little bit of a bend. Knees don't have to, the circle doesn't have to be large. Maybe you could hear your knees. Sometimes people can hear little creaks, adhesions, and then circle the other way. And release. Good. Bring your elbows together and clasp the hands, and we'll circle the wrists. And as you're noticing how these smaller joints are and how they're feeling, circle the other way. Connect to your breath. So begin a nice deep breath, or a mindful, deliberate breath. So you're listening to the sound of the breath. Good. And release. And then we'll move into our pure ha breath. This one is inhale, 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 and you come up on the toes. So come up and down on the toes just to do the check in, and then exhale all the breath out and begin. One more. And release. Bring your feet wider for monkey breath. Make soft fists with the hands. Engage the pelvic floor so the pelvis really feels stable. Inhale. And begin. And we drag the knuckles down the body, down past the knee, up into the armpit area. And apply a little bit of pressure. Getting a massage here. Slow it down. And release and breathe. So bring your hands to your hips, and then the waistline, and then a little higher up around the rib cage. And just to have that awareness, and then make fists, soft fists with the hands again, and drop down to the left, bringing the right hand up towards the armpit area. See how far that left hand wants to drop down. Come up nice and slow, and notice, where do you feel this? It's a pranayam, it is a breath, but it's a stretch too. So notice how this feels side to side, this lateral stretch. Extension on the spine and compression on the other side. Good. So before we move on to the other pranayam, grab hold of your thigh. There's so many different ways to stretch, right? And you can use props, you can not use props. We're going to use the thigh, bring the arms up, relax the shoulders, heels are in. Same awareness. As you come to the right, engage the pelvic floor. We're going to drop down nice and slow. And think about lengthening through the left side. But of course, yes, there's lots and lots of compression on the right side. And then when you inhale, come back up. And then exhale and drop down. And slow it right down. There's a spot where it seems like, oh, I think I've gone a little bit too far. We don't want to use momentum to come back up. We want to use core strength. We don't want to cave in when we come down. We want to move mindfully. So notice if you feel this in a different way or any different spots than when you do monkey breath. For me, it's a lot more intense, which is one good reason to keep it slow and mindful. with the arms up high. We're here. Might as well bring the arms back just to get that nice opening in the shoulders. If it feels like your arms won't go down, open the thigh a little wider to bring the hands down. And if you have a shoulder injury, skip the thigh, just move the arms up and down. And then the next time you're up, we can bring the hands forward and release the thigh. So another way to get that nice lateral stretch is half moon, right? So before we do the rest of the pranayam, so just to have that awareness, where does the stretch, there's some stretches, I think they start right at the knee and come up the IT band into the hip flexor and then all the way up. So we're going to do the same movement, but different. Arms float up as you breathe in. Bring your hands into steeple. Exhale, lengthen up towards the right. So again, there's this thought that you're lengthening through the left side, not caving in on the right. Inhale up. Exhale to the left. So when you get all the way down and you're at the end of your exhalation, see if you can have a little pause. And you want to really empty the diaphragm of all breath. Draw the navel right back towards the spine. Squeeze out all the old still breath and pause and press away with the hip. So when you come down, let's say to the right, now press the left hip away. Right away, that changes the stretch. We can try that again. And then all the way back up and release the hands down. And make big circles with the shoulders. We'll move into our frog's breath now. So I'm going to do 20. If 20 is too much for you, then come up when you're finished and you can join back in when you feel like it, or you could do a different kind of squat, right? You could just hold in your squat. You can have your hands on the floor or on the blocks here. We peek up, inhale, and begin. And come up nice and slow. Give your quadriceps a massage. I still can't believe we're doing 20 because we've been doing them so much. That's a lot more than we started out with many months ago, I think. So let's do the last 10 squats. Slightly different. Bring your feet to the outside edge of your mat. Bring the heels in. Bring your hands onto your belly. Inhale. And begin. Inhale up. Exhale down. like enough for me. So 5 standing pranayams. The reason we do them is to get the energy flowing and come into our body. So now plant your feet. Bring your palms up, shoulders back. And notice your energy. So we checked in physically. How's the energy feeling? And the emotional well-being, the mental state today. Nice deep breath in and out. Begin the Ujjayi breath. Nice soft Ujjayi. And I think we're going to start to flow. So feet are planted, hands come into prayer position for the affirmation flow. Inhale. As you exhale, have the arms, the hands come down. Follow the hands with your gaze, and then inhale the hands out and up. Look up at the hands. Exhale, full forward fold. Come up halfway as you breathe in, and then exhale, drop right down. Inhale into chair pose. So we reach the hips back and reach the hands forward. Exhale, a little deeper. Inhale all the way up. Look up at the hands as they come into prayer position above you, and exhale, down in front. Inhale, exhale, hands now point down, follow them with the gaze. Inhale the hands out and up, look up. Exhale, full forward fold, drop all the way down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, drop back down. Inhale, drop into chair and let the arms float. And then exhale, a little deeper. Inhale all the way up. Bring the hands into prayer position and drop them back down. So I'd like to use our sun salutation as well as a warm-up, which means we do it slower and we break things down and we do things in pieces and parts. So if you have a chair, you can use a chair. The cues will be for the mat though today. You're going to come up to the front of your space. If you have blocks, you can always have the blocks beside the feet. So feet are planted, engage the pelvic floor, begin the Ujjayi breath. And then inhale the hands out and up, look up at the hands. Exhale the hands down in front, follow them with your gaze. Inhale, up and back, gentle back bend. Exhale, full forward fold. And let's pause. So if you're not touching the floor easily, you can have your hands on the blocks beside you. Or you can have your fingertips on the mat. Nose comes right towards the knees. Do a little rocking from the heels to the toes. If your hamstrings are super tight and you can't reach the floor, your legs are really long, then bend your knees and bring your hands to your ankles, or bend your knees to get the hands on the floor. Just a little rocking back and forth. And then half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Straighten the legs and reach the crown of the head forward. You can have the hands on the knees or calves or maybe the toes. And then drop back down into a full forward fold, bringing the nose towards the knees. with the hands on the mat beside the feet, reach the right leg back. So you reach the right leg back into a lunge. Let's pause here, just a little forward and back. And it's our first lunge, so, you know, explore a little bit. Maybe you step too far back. You have to step forward a bit, or maybe not back enough. And you can consider whether you're looking for a vigorous class today or a gentle class, and then move accordingly. Let's drop the right knee onto the mat. Notice if you want a little blanket or a pillow underneath the knee. Hands come onto the mat and then up onto the left knee. Hold, breathe, press down with the left foot, lift the chest up, and then inhale the arms up. Reach, drop the shoulders back, you can peek up, and release the hands all the way back down. And then curl the back toe under again, lift the right knee up off the mat, forward and back. So the blocks are nice here, but I think when moving into downward dog, you want to move the blocks aside, have the hands on the mat. Bring the left foot back, squared to each other, fingertips are wide open, hips reach back, bend your knees to reach the hips back as far as you possibly can. And now engage the shoulders into the shoulder cage and walk the heels out one at a time. Turn your head side to side. And then this pulse here, as you breathe in, you come up a little higher. As you exhale, the heels come down. Remember, your own subtle movements can really enhance each and every stretch. Listen to your instincts here. Come right up onto the toes, forward into plank. Your butt's probably going to be way up in the air, so you'll want to wiggle the feet back or walk the hands forward for plank. Press it back with the heels. Engage the pelvic floor and breathe. Remember, you could be on your fists here. If plank doesn't work at all for your wrist, you can always have your knees on the mat as well. We're going to come forward over the toes and drop the hips down for upward dog and pick up. And then curl the toes back under and come all the way back into downward dog. And breathe. Make any adjustments with the hands and the feet. And then look between your hands. Actually, reach your right leg up behind you. Reach back with the leg. And now bend the knee. Bring the foot over to the left side of your mat. And then bring it back in and swing that right foot up to the front of your space. You can do a little forward and back. Here we are back in our lunge. You can grab the blocks again if you're using the blocks. And lots of different ways to get the left leg up. You can use momentum, or you can do a little bit of a balancing. Bring the left leg up. Bring your head back to your knees. And then inhale all the way up and back. And bring your hands into prayer position all the way down in front of the body. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, drop back down. Inhale, the left foot back. Here we are in that lunge. So you're going to do a little forward and back again on this side. And then drop the left knee down, come up, bringing the hands onto the knee. Reevaluate, sometimes it's okay on one knee, but not the other side. And then if it's all right, you can bring the arms up, lift up, reach back. Release the hands all the way back down. Curl the back toe under, lift the left knee off the mat. Slide that right foot back, downward dog, and breathe. And then bring your left leg up. Oh no, that's not what we're doing. We're going to, come forward over the hands and plank. So you might need to wiggle the hips, wiggle the feet back. Drop the hips down, upward dog. Peek up. Curl the toes under, come back into downward dog. And then from here, lift the left leg up. Reach back with the foot, press the heel down on the right side. Bend the knee, bring the foot over to the right side of your mat. And then bring that right knee in and bring your left foot back up to the front of your space. There's a little rocking forward and back. And then think about how you're going to bring the right leg up. Balancing or momentum, bring your nose to your knee and inhale the arms all the way up and all the way down. So when you break it down and you slow it down like that, it certainly does become like a great warm-up, I think. So we're going to come to the back of our mat this time and lunge forward with the right leg. We'll move through our warrior flow. Hands on the belly. Think about where you're going to go with that right leg, and the arms are going to come up as well. Inhale. Exhale, right leg forward. And then just a little pulsing here. You can decide, did you go too far forward, not far enough? Press back with the left heel. Hands reach straight up. Breathe. And we'll release the left heel down. Reach with the right hand. Reach back with the left. And you're right in the middle. You're not leaning forward. You're not leaning back. Gaze right over the middle finger, that right hand. Lots of strength and poise. Drop that right elbow to rest on the right knee. Bring the left arm up. And reach over to the right. Press down with the outside edge of the left foot. Reach with the fingertips. Bring the shoulder back. Peek up. Now press with the right foot to get all the way back up into Warrior 2. And drop your left arm down and reach your right arm up. And extend, really extend up through the right side. And all the way back into Warrior 2. Let's add our Trikonasana here too. So straighten your right leg, reach to the right, and then drop down. Right arm comes down, left arm comes up. Right kneecap's drawn up towards the quadricep. Hold, breathe. Bend the right knee, come all the way back into Warrior 2. Swivel the body so you're facing the front of your mat again. And bring the arms up. Back into Warrior 2. Or Warrior 1, sorry. Then bring your left leg forward. And we'll hinge at the hips, moving into Warrior 3. Reach back with the left leg, forward with the hands, and then you can slowly release that left leg down and bring it all the way through. Bring the arms forward, Limb press. Bring the left knee up into crane and release. Good, good. So lots and lots of work. Kind of nice though because there really isn't any weight bearing on your wrists or anything like that. Come to the back of your mat again. This time we'll come forward with the left foot. Right back, right here. Inhale. Exhale, left leg forward. And here we are. Find your poise. Your shoulders are back. Your chest is lifted. You reach back with the right heel. Right leg is straight. Find your balance. Find your breath. Drop the right heel down and reach the left hand forward, right hand back. Warrior 2. Release the left arm down. You can rest on your knee and the right arm reaches up and over towards the left. Turn your head, look up. And now press down with the left foot to come all the way back up. And exhale, we'll drop down with the right arm, reach up with the left hand. All the way back into Warrior 2. And we'll move into Trikonasana, so you can straighten the left leg, reach to the left, and then swivel. When you can't reach any further, start to hinge. Reach up with the right hand. Left hand might be touching the left leg, but you're not resting on that leg. You're using core strength to stay up here. Bend the left knee, come all the way back into Warrior 2. And then from here, we'll swivel on that back foot and move right back into Warrior 1. Shoulders are back. And breathe. Bring the right leg up. And then hinge, moving into Warrior 3. And anytime we do any balancing, it's really fantastic if you move at your own pace. So whenever you're ready, then you can bring your right leg forward up into crane. And release. I timed it so the music ended right when we did. Yes, it's warm. It's warm, and let's drop down into a squat again. Notice how the knees feel. Notice how it feels to be on your toes. So it's a squat that is accessible for you. So if this low squat doesn't work for you for your balance, you could always have your blocks right here. If another thing you could do with the blocks is put your knees to rest on them if the balance is off. Or for a lot of people, this doesn't work for their ankle joints coming into this low squat. So you could put the blocks behind you and rest the heels on the blocks, and you're still in your squat, right? So just another breath or two here. And then release the hands, and you can drop down. Straighten the legs out. Give them a little windshield wiper side to side. If you've got a cushion or a blanket, then you might want to sit on that. So I'm going to grab mine. We'll move into butterfly, Baddha Konasana. So you can have the bottoms of the feet together. Again, you can always use the blocks underneath your knees if need be. And then we'll start with a straight spine and begin to hinge forward. And you want to be perched up on this blanket so the hips are a little higher. Once you come down as far as you can with this straight spine, then make a conscious choice. Maybe tonight you feel like staying with this straight spine. Maybe tonight you want to round your back and drop down. If you have herniated disc, bulging disc, if you have osteoporosis, you might want to stay with the straight spine. Listen to your instincts. Relax the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw. See if you can start to listen to your breath again. Slow. Bring the knees together. You can slide off your blanket for a moment. Open the feet to the outside edge of the mat and let the knees windshield wiper side to side. And then bring the knees back up or come back up onto your blanket. Open the feet nice and wide. And just sitting here before we even come forward, notice how it feels for your inner thighs. And it might be that you don't want to come forward. You want to stay right here because you're already feeling something. So you can stay right there, or you can start to shift forward. Stay with the straight spine for a couple of breaths, and then you can make the decision as to whether you want to round the spine or not. So we're hinging at the hips. Got lots of work here in the inner thighs, compression through the groin. Maybe you feel it in the hamstrings. Lower back. Breathe, relax, feel, watch, allow. Stay present to the experience. You can use all the props in your house here, or you can go without props and drop right down. You might decide that for tonight you want to stay up halfway. Listen to your body. And then let's come up halfway and walk the hands over to the right. You can keep both hands on the right leg or the mat. Look over your right shoulder. Or just keep the right hand on the leg and turn to the left. Lift the left arm up and reach towards the right. And breathe. To stay inward, paying attention to what's too much and what's not enough. walk your both hands back to center, and you can walk your hands over to the left, and then lift the right hand up and over. Turn your head, look up towards the ceiling. Instead of thinking of caving in on the left side, think about extension through the right. And release the right hand all the way down. Work your way back to center. And then help the legs come back together, and then straighten the legs out and give them a little shake, and you can windshield wiper your legs from side to side. And then from here we're going to go into onto our hands and knees. So if you need your blanket underneath your knees, take a second to put it there. And once on your hands and knees in table, we'll pause just to take a moment to feel table. Sit bones pressing back, crown of the head reaching forward. Tuck the tailbone under, round the spine, drop your head, look towards the knees. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. And then start at the hips and tilt the hips. Drop the belly down, it comes down nice and slow. And you're going to look up. And then start again. Tuck the tailbone under, rounding and arching the spine. And then all the way back to table, and walk your hands a handspan forward. Bring your knees a little wider apart. Bring your hips over to the right foot. Swing them around to the left. Swing all the way forward over to the left hand, in the middle, then to the right hand. Circling the torso between the hands and the feet. Just let the body flow with your breath. Next time the hips come back, pause, and then circle the other way. And now come back up, open the knees even wider, bring the big toes together, reach the hips back, reach the hands forward. Drop the chest down towards the mat. Chin, nose, or forehead on the mat. You can let your hips do a little sway side to side. If this doesn't work for your knees, maybe the hips are up in the air, and that's fine. If you have an ongoing shoulder issue and this reach doesn't sit well with you, then bring your hands in. Make fists with your hands. Stack them and rest your forehead on your hands instead. And then settle in and breathe. And then look towards the hands, walk the hands towards the knees. We'll come right back up. If you've got a bolster, you could sit on a bolster or have a bolster behind you. We're going to lean back into the hands. So you could have the big toes together or not. You could have the knees close together or a little space between them. See if you could get comfortable here. If this is really contraindicated for your knees, lie on your back and go into happy baby instead. So here we are, we're going to lift the hips up. Drop the head back, tuck the tailbone under, and then see if we could drop the hips back into just nesting in the heels here. And you can stay here on the hands or drop down on the elbows. Drop the head back. If you've got a bolster to drop back onto, even better. And you could stay up on the elbows or drop back onto the shoulders. Keep the knees down. They want to lift up. See if you can keep them pressing down. If you're on your shoulders, come back up onto your elbows. If you're on your elbows, come back up onto your hands, and then we'll move right back into downward dog to stretch that out. So reach the hands forward on the mat, draw yourself right up, and walk the feet. Release the knees back down, and you can come back into a seated position. We're going to come onto our backs now, so if you need to move your device around so that you can see when you're on your back, take a moment to do that. And once you're on your back, hug the knees into the chest. Clasp the hands on the shins, drop your head down. You could always put your blanket underneath your head. And rock, side to side. We did lots of stretching and lots of strengthening poses too that have a lot of power to them. So take a moment just to acknowledge that, all that power work with our warrior flow and sun salutation. And then come right back onto your back. Reach up, grab hold of the feet, moving into happy baby. Keep your chin tucked and keep rocking side to side. All the way to one side, all the way to the other side. And then come back and back to center. Drop the bottoms of the feet flat on the floor behind your hips. Feet are slightly pigeon-toed. If you have a block, put the block between your knees just to keep the knees about hip-width apart. Take the blanket out from underneath the head. Hands come down to at your side, fingertips point to the heels, chin is tucked. As you breathe in, start to lift your hips up. And hold and breathe. Notice how that weight feels shifted into the shoulders and in the back, the palms pressing down, the feet pressing down. And then come all the way down and rock, tilt, tuck the pelvis, and then come back up. And go up and down at your own pace. Immerse yourself in your own sensations. Hips come all the way down. Grab hold of your block. Lift the hips up, and now set it underneath your butt. So your butt is resting on your block. Reach the right leg out. Reach the left leg out. So legs are straight. Notice how this feels here. If it feels like too much, go back to the up and down motion on your back. If it doesn't feel like anything at all, then turn the block on the higher edge. Every day is a new day, so pay attention. Lift the arms overhead. You can rest them behind you. Relax into your space, into your body. Feeling that wide open belly and rib cage and hips. And then release the hands, bend the knees, press down with the feet to lift your hips up and drop the hips down. Wiggle over to the left side of your mat. Bring your arms to T, the knees in, and bring your knees up and over to the right side of your mat. Let the right leg rest on the mat, the left leg stack on top. Take your right hand and hold the legs there so you can let go of any holding in the hip. And you could leave the arm out at T, or you could reach up as if your arm's in Y, or you could reach straight back behind you. You might want to put a cushion or a prop underneath the left shoulder. Or just keep it to T. Turn your head side to side. Just breathe deeply into this twist. Wherever you feel it the most. And then release the right hand, bring the left leg up, the right leg's going to follow, drop the hips on the mat, and wiggle over to the right side of your mat. Draw the knees into the chest, bring them over to the left leg rests on the mat, right leg is stacked on top. Take your left hand, rest it on your right knee, and turn your head. Look back at the right arm. Hold and breathe. Release the right arm, release the legs. Move back into the middle of your mat for Shavasana. You can have legs up on a chair, legs up on a wall. You could use your bolster and drape your legs over the bolster or blocks. Maybe you've got a couple of extra big cushions or pillows. Cover up. And have something under your head. Set yourself up as if this is the most important posture of the whole practice. Once you're set up, you could do a last wiggle the toes and the fingers just to feel them, and then relax the fingers and toes. You could turn your head side to side. And then relax the head. give yourself permission at this time to just breathe, just be. Settle into yourself as if you are coming home. Each inhale, coming home. Each exhale, a letting go. Trust the energy that you feel. Trust the sensations. Give yourself an imaginary pat on the back for all the different ways your body has moved for you. Back bends, forward bends, twists, squats, lunges. Just acknowledge all the work. Imagine you could breathe right into the soles of your feet, the palms of your hands, and up to the crown of the head. A full body breath. Bring your hands to your heart and set an intention for the rest of this day. And then silently affirm to yourself, I am at peace. I am content. I am loved. And then slowly draw your knees back into your chest. One final hug for yourself. And you can roll over onto your side and bring yourself up to a seated position. And we'll chant the sound Om to end class. Inhaling. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. And you could bow to the light within you and open your eyes and shine your light. Namaste. Namaste.